Well, good morning and welcome to the Church360 Unite training webinar on groups. My name is Andrew Osborne. I'm the content specialist here at Concordia Technology Solutions. Anytime you have any questions, you can feel free to send me an email or give me a call. My contact information is up there on the screen for you. If there's things that you would like to know more about the software or things that you have questions on, feel free to send those over to me and I can try to point you in the right direction. A few housekeeping items before we get started today. Our presentation will be about 25 minutes, and at the end we'll save 5 minutes for questions and answers. You can ask questions throughout the presentation, however I'll answer them at the end. That way I can make sure I hit on all the things that we need to hit on today, and I'll try to make sure I get all your your questions answered before we finish today. If there's anything I don't know, I will find out and I'll send you an email with those answers. And lastly, our recording will be shared after this presentation. It'll be posted up on our YouTube page, so if you need to go back and re-watch and find out the answers that you're looking for, again, you can do that there, or if you need to share it with someone else in your church, you can send them the link to our YouTube page and you can find this presentation on there. The outline for today, we're going to go talk through creating a group, then we're going to talk about the settings for groups, the members and how you add them, we'll talk about events, we'll talk about adding pages within your group, and then we'll get to our questions and answers like I said earlier. So with that being said, let's jump right in. I'll switch over here, and I'm on our home page, and to create a group you need to go up to the Pages tab, and you have to be an administrator to access this area. So be logged in as an admin, and you can click on Pages up here. You'll see you have your active menu items over here and your available menu items over here. And our group menu items are these little ones with the little person on them. So that's how you distinguish whether it's a normal page or a calendar or the members page. These are the feeds over here, but these are the group pages. To add a group page, you would click on this Add Page button up here. So we'll do that. And the group pages are these ones with the 3 people on them. So we'll click that and hit Create Page. And for demonstration purposes, we'll create a youth ministry page. So I'll just type youth in there and hit Enter. So then it appears there, and we can move it over into our menu items to make it show up on our website menu. So I'll drag that over under Ministries. I'll hit Save Changes. And you can see that right now our youth page is set excuse me, is set to members only. That means you have to have a login to our website or to your church website to be able to access that page. You can change that setting by clicking on it and clicking Public, and that will change it. Oh, perhaps I think you have to hit Publish first to make it an active page. Let me try refresh. Oh, for some reason that didn't work. Let me refresh the page. Sometimes it's good to refresh to get things working again. So you'll see it's under our Ministries tab there, our youth and our settings. So we'll click on Pages again, and now click Youth, hit Public. I'm not sure why that's not working. Save changes maybe? Well, I'm not sure why that isn't working, but it's supposed to make that a page that anyone can access by hitting Public. For some reason it doesn't want to do it on this site that I'm working on. But that's how you would make that a public group. So now we'll go over to that group and we'll click on it. You'll see it takes you to this page. Right now it's just an empty page, but you can add anything you want in this area. If you want to add pictures or information about the group, you can go to Edit Page. You can just type in here. This is our WYSIWYG editor. WYSIWYG means what you see is what you get. So you would type in here just like you would in a Microsoft Word document or anything like that, and it will appear as you type. Whatever you type in there will appear how you write it. You can apply styles to whatever you're doing. So if you have styles set up on your website, you can add those in there. You can also go, if there's a certain style you want that you don't have in here, you can highlight it and click the style button there and create a different style here. You can add photos, audio, video, links, all different stuff up here. There's lots of different options that you can play with and mess around with. And there's plenty of things to allow you to kind of have the freedom to put whatever you need in this area. For now, we'll leave that blank. And next, we're going to talk about memberships or settings for your group. So we'll go to Edit This Group. You can see you have lots of different options here. You can change the title. You can add a description of what the group is. You can add additional pages to your site, to your group site. You can set up your different pages with different accessibility for different people. So you can set your home screen to everyone, make it public for everyone, or you can set it to only Unite users or only members of this particular group or only group leaders of this particular group, or you can hide it from anyone. So that's a good way to change the different settings. If there's certain things you want everyone to see and certain things you only want certain people to see. For instance, you may want the home screen available to anyone and the events available to anyone so people know what's going on with that group. But the discussions you may want to save for only people in this group. That way they can feel comfortable sharing things and discussing different topics. For instance, if this is your youth page, your youth director may start a conversation about a certain topic, and students may comment on that discussion. And it would feel uncomfortable to them if they knew that anyone could go to that page and see that discussion. But if you set it to group members only, then they'll feel a little more comfortable being open and honest about things. And you could set this page to allow anyone logged into your site to see it, or only people you've invited. So then you can hit Update Group, and it will save all of your changes for you. You can add different members to this group by going to the members area. You'll have options for all the people in your church, and you can add them in there by just simply clicking their name and hitting Add Member. You can email all the different members, so you could select all and send an email to them. You can change who the leader is, so when you set up the group, the administrator who sets the group will automatically be set as the group leader. But if the administrator of your site isn't who's in charge of this particular group, you could click on a certain person who is. Say, for instance, Dave Abbott is our youth director. You could change his role and promote him to leader. So now he's a group leader, and you could change Luke Booth, the site administrator, to demote to just a member of the group, or you could delete him from the group altogether. People can request to be on this group, and you'll see you have a tab here for requests. So if people get in here and they're on your home page, which is accessible to anyone, they can click the button. It'll be down here on their page that says Join Group, and then it'll send that request to you, and this is where you would accept them to this group. We also have events on groups. Events allow you to have different calendars for certain groups. So the only events that will show up on this calendar are youth events. This calendar will backflow to your main church calendar. So whatever you put in here will populate back into this main calendar with all of your different church events. Adding events is pretty easy. You can either click New Event and this window will pop up, or you could go to the calendar and select the date you want to add an event on. For instance, if you have a youth event on this coming Sunday, you can just click on that date and the same thing will pop up. You can add a title to the event. You can add it to a different calendar if you'd like, it will automatically go to the youth calendar. But if you wanted your fellowship calendar to also have all the youth events on it, you could click that one also, and it will go to both calendars now. You could set the location. If it's at your church, you could say what room it's in. If it's somewhere off campus, you could state that there, put the address in there. You can set the date and the times when it starts and ends. You could say this is an all-day event. For instance, a lot of times youth ministries will have lock-ins that last all day, or a 30-hour famine or something like that. You could set that up for an all-day event, so then the time goes away and it's just the dates. You could set the event up to repeat. So if it's an event that happens every week, you could set it to repeat every single week on Sundays, for instance. You could say when that starts, and you could schedule an end for that if you know once you get to the summer it's going to end, for instance. You could also set them up for all these varieties of different periods of time and different weeks, months, and years. You can add a description into the event so that people know what the event is all about. You can send invitations out to your members. If you wanted to say, hey, you should come to this event, you could just click on their name and it'll send an email to them inviting them to this event. You can also set reminders for events. So if you have an event coming up on Sunday and you want them to remember it, you could send an invitation out one day before, and they would get an email on Saturday saying, hey, you have an event coming up tomorrow. So it's just an easy way to remind your members of things that are going on in your church. There we go. Let's see. Let me get back to our youth page. Excuse me. You can change your membership settings to set up what notifications you personally get. So if you don't want to receive an email every time there's a comment or anything like that, you can set it up to not send you any email notifications from this group, or to only send an email notification when a leader makes an announcement. So if you don't want to be bombarded with emails every time there's a member of a group commenting on something, you can change your notification settings under membership settings, or you could leave the group from this page as well. If you're no longer part of the youth group, you could click that to leave it. There's also a discussion area. This is helpful if, for instance, the youth director wants to talk about a certain subject throughout the week. They could start the discussion in a Bible study on Sunday, but then keep the discussion going by commenting in here, asking questions, and looking for discussions. You can also make prayer requests. If there's different things going on in your youth's lives, for instance, they could ask for a prayer request on here to keep the rest of the group informed on what's going on in their lives and how they can pray for each other. Lastly, I want to show just how to add pages to the groups. So to add a page to the group, which would add another tab over here, you would go to Edit This Group. You could type in a new page here. So for instance, if you wanted to be able to share Bible study notes on here, you could type in Bible study notes and hit Add Page. You could then click that page and change it. You could change the name, you could save it, delete it, any of those different things. Cancel that. I believe it should pop down into there. Oh, that's why. To set this not as a draft, you would have to go to that page. It now appears over here in this sidebar. You hit Edit Page over here, and you can change it from a draft, which means you're just editing it and no one else can see it yet. You could set it to Published, and now anyone can access that if they're part of this group. You could change the name of it, the URL, the meta description, and that's to help with Google Analytics and things like that. So now you could add your Bible study notes every week. To add a link, you would just type in the name that you want, and then you would highlight it, click on this link button here, and you could either send them to a different URL if you have the notes posted somewhere online or on your page, or on your website on a different page. You could send them there, or this is a feature that I really like. You can add a file that users can download. So if you have a Word document with all of your notes on it, you can attach that document by uploading it here, and then when they click on it, it would download those notes to their computer. So it's a handy way to send out notes for Bible studies and things like that, or if you have forms that you need students to download, you can post those up on here and have them download those forms. Lots of different options, and you're really only limited by your creativity when it comes to what you can post in here and share with the people of your congregation, and how you can use groups. Groups are basically like little mini sites within your website. So the website administrator has to set up the groups, but then they can kind of be hands-off and pass the groups off to their group leaders. So if the church secretary is the administrator of your website, she would have to set up the group, but then she could say to the youth director, I've got your group set up, here's the link to it, I've added you to it, and I'm going to take myself off of it, so that she can kind of be hands-off and let the ministry leader be in charge of this group and organizing everything. She can kind of pass the torch to the next person. So it's a good way to delegate different tasks to different members of your church and different ministry leaders. Groups are extremely handy for having different discussion areas and keeping things going throughout the week for your members, so they feel like they're part of your church even when they're not there. That's basically all of the nuts and bolts for groups. There's different things we could get into, like layouts and things like that. That basically just shows you can structure this home page to have different areas, or you could just have one big area there. So there's lots of different things to mess around with, but the core of it are these areas over here, and the different settings and discussion pages and all that kind of stuff is really what make groups work really well. So now let's open it up, and if there's any questions, I could answer those for you. You should have a question box that you can type in, and anything I didn't hit well or that you're still curious about that I didn't cover enough for you, go ahead and type those in there, and I'll try and get those answered for you. Or if there's things that you're wondering if you can do, I may be able to answer that for you as well. So go ahead and type those in there. And while we're waiting, I'll switch over to this. We have product updates come out pretty regularly. If you would like to receive a blog notification, we send out blogs every time we have a new product update, explaining what the update is and how to use that different feature. So this is a good way to stay informed on how to use Church360 Unite to its full capability. So if you would like to subscribe to that blog, go to 360unite.com/blog, and you can subscribe to receive those updates. Again, you have my contact information. If you ever have any questions, or if you can't think of a question right now, but one comes up later, feel free to send me an email or give me a call, and I can answer that for you. And typically pretty quick to respond to those. So feel free to ask anything that comes up. You can also contact our support team. They know the software inside and out, and would be able to answer any questions that you can think of, and really help you out there. There's a question, would really like to be able to just give people a password to access a particular page, so if they don't have an email address, they can get in. I don't know if there's exactly a good way to do that. I'd have to look into that for you, and I can send you a definite answer on that. I know you can you can set up your different pages to allow people, anyone to access it, but it sounds like you're looking for a way to password protect a page without having an email, I guess. So I'll have to look into that and see if I can find an answer for that. There may be a way to do it, but I just don't know what that would be yet. So I'll look into that and I'll send you an email on that. Any other questions? Again, here's my contact information and our support team. Give just another minute or two and see if any other questions come up. Here's where you would access the updates again. Go to 360unite.com/blog to receive any product updates that we come out with. We also announce different trainings like this one on there. So if there's different things that you would like to learn about, you'll see that we come out with new training opportunities on there that we'll announce. Give just one more minute or so. Here's our contact info. Well, like I said, if you think of any questions afterward that you would like more information about, feel free to email me or talk to our support team. We can try to get those answered for you. I hope you learned a little bit about how groups can be a resource for your congregation, and I hope that this information is valuable to you. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a great day.